Good morning, ladies. Happy Friday. I hope this message finds you well. A little exhausted, excuse me. I'm not gonna lie, my body feels like it's going through the motions. I haven't felt this sore in a long while. I haven't felt this sore in a long while. Good sore, but nonetheless in adjustment. However, in the car rider lane, I did not get a chance to do Bible study at the house like I would want to. However, we're going to do it now here in the car while we're waiting, right? What's the best time before we start the day? We are in Leviticus chapters 18 through 20 today. And verse 1, it goes like this. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, I am the Lord your God. According to the doings of the land of Egypt where you dwelt, you shall not do, and according to the doings of the land of Canaan where I am bringing you, you shall not do. Nor shall you walk in their ordinances. You shall observe my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk in them. I am the Lord your God." Verse 5, "You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man does, he shall live by them. I am the Lord. None of you shall approach anyone who is near of kin to him to uncover his nakedness. I am the Lord." Verse 7, "The nakedness of your father or the nakedness of your mother you shall not uncover. She is your mother. You shall not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your father's wife you shall not uncover. It is your father's nakedness. The nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, or the daughter of your mother, whether born at home or elsewhere, their nakedness you shall not uncover. The nakedness of your son's daughters or your daughter's daughters, their nakedness you shall not uncover, for theirs is your own nakedness. The nakedness of your father's wife's daughter, begotten by your father, she is your sister. You shall not uncover her nakedness." Verse 12, "You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister. She is near of kin to your father. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is near of kin to your mother." Verse 14, "You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother. You shall not approach his wife. She is your aunt. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife, and you shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your brother's wife. It is your brother's nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, nor shall you take her son's daughter of her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness. They are near of kin to her. It is wickedness. Nor shall you take a woman as a rival to her sister to uncover her nakedness while the other is alive. Also, you should not approach a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is in her customary impurity. Moreover, you shall not lie carnally with your neighbor's wife to defile yourself with her. And you shall not let any of your descendants pass through the fire to Molech, nor shall you profane the name of your God. I am the Lord." Verse 22, "You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination." "It is an abomination, nor shall you mate with any animal to defile yourself with it." It happens, and it's so gross. "Nor shall any woman stand before an animal to mate with it. It is perversion. Do not defile yourselves with any of these things, for by all these the nations are defiled, which I am casting out before you." Verse 25, "For the land is defiled, therefore I visit the punishment of its iniquity upon it, and the land vomits out its inhabitants. You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, either any of your own nation or any stranger who dwells among you." Verse 27, "For all these abominations the men of the land have done, you were born before you, and thus the land is defiled. Lest the land vomit you out also when you defile it, as it vomited out the nations that were before you. For whoever commits any of these abominations, the persons who commit them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore you shall keep my ordinance, so that you do not commit any of these abominable customs which were committed before you, and that you do not defile yourselves by them. I am the Lord your God." Verse 19, "The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 1. "And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say to them, You shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy." Verse 3, "Every one of you shall revere his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn to idols, nor make for yourselves molded gods. I am the Lord your God. And if you offer a sacrifice of a peace offering to the Lord, you shall offer it of your own free will. Verse 6, it shall be eaten the same day you offer it, and on the next day. And if any remains until the third day, it shall be burned in the fire. And if it is eaten at all on the third day, it is an abomination. It shall not be accepted. Verse 8, therefore anyone who eats it shall bear his iniquity, because he has profaned the hallowed offering of the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from his people. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not wholly reap the corners of your field, nor shall you gather the gleanings of your harvest. In verse 10, you shall not glean your vineyard, nor shall you gather every grape of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and the stranger. I am the Lord your God. You shall not steal, nor deal falsely, nor lie to one another. Major one there. And you shall not swear by my name falsely, nor shall you profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. Verse 13, you shall not cheat your neighbor, nor rob him. The wages of him who is hired shall not remain with you all night until morning. Verse 14, you shall not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear your God. I am the Lord. You shall not do injustice in judgment. You shall not be partial to the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. In righteousness you shall judge your neighbor. You shall not go about as a talebearer among your people, nor shall you take a stand against the life of your neighbor. I am the Lord. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall not surely rebuke your neighbor, and not bear his sin because of him. You shall not take vengeance, nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Verse 19, you shall keep my statutes. You shall not let your livestock breed with another kind. You shall not sow your field with mixed seed, nor shall a garment of mixed linen and wool come upon you. Whoever lies carnally with a woman who is betrothed to a man as a concubine, and who has not at all been redeemed nor given her freedom, for this there shall be scourging. But they shall not be put to death, because she was not free. Verse 21, and he shall bring his trespass offering to the Lord to the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and a ram as a trespass offering. The priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before the Lord for his sin which he has committed. And the sin which he has committed shall be forgiven him. When you come into the land and have planted all kinds of trees for food, then you shall count their fruit as uncircumcised. 3 years it shall be as uncircumcised to you, it shall not be eaten. Verse 24, but in the 4th year all its fruit shall be holy, a praise to the Lord. And in the 5th year you may eat its fruit, and then it may yield to you its increase. I am the Lord your God. Verse 26, you shall not eat anything with the blood, nor shall you practice divination or soothsaying. Little tarot card people reading, your little crystals. That's for you guys too. Same. Calling a spade, guys. You shall not shave around the sides of your head, nor shall you disfigure the edges of your beard. Verse 28, you shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor tattoo any marks on you. I am the Lord. Do not prostitute your daughter to cause her to be a harlot, lest the land fall into harlotry and the land become full of wickedness. Verse 30, you shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. 31, give no regard to mediums and familiar spirits. Do not seek after them, to be defiled by them. I am the Lord. Yes, and I'm not putting judgment when I say that comment, because I was the girl that got her. I'm Latin American, so what we has her the los cartas, okay? You got your cards read like every other one, thinking that they were telling you the future, and you had the only person that can tell you your future. So trust me, I'm not making any judgment. I've been there, all right? Let it go. You have no idea of the chaos that it brings into your life. Let it go. I had no idea that a lot of the things I was doing was the cause of my additional chaos. Because the Lord said you're going to go through trial and tribulation. It's how much do we go through based on how many doors we leave open. I'm just saying. Now, back to it. Verse 32 in Leviticus chapter 19. You shall rise before the gray-headed and honor the presence of an old man and fear your God. I am the Lord. And if a stranger dwells with you in your land, you shall not mistreat him. The stranger who dwells among you shall be to you as one born among you, and you shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Verse 35, you shall not do injustice in judgment in measurement of length, weight, or volume. You shall have honest scales, honest weights, and an honest ephah and an honest hin. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. And last verse 37, therefore you shall observe all my statutes and all my judgments and perform them. I am the Lord. I need some coffee. All right. Last chapter for this morning, chapter 20, verse 1 in Leviticus. Sorry, as you can see, you're not on a stand, you're on my steering wheel. All right, let's do this again. The enemy's a liar. All right, Leviticus chapter 20, verse 1. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, again, you shall say to the children of Israel, whoever of the children of Israel, or of the strangers who dwell in Israel, who gives any of his descendants to Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. I will set my face against that man, and he will cut him off from his people, because he has given some of his descendants to Molech to defile my sanctuary and profane my holy name. Verse 4, and if the people of the land shall be in any way hide their eyes from the man when he gives some of his descendants to Molech, and they do not kill him, then I will set my face against that man and against his family, and I will cut him off from his people and all who prostitute themselves with him to commit harlotry with Molech. Verse 6, and the person who turns to mediums and familiar spirits to prostitute himself with them, I will set my face against that person and cut him off from his people. Consecrate yourselves, therefore, and be holy, for I am the Lord your God. And you shall keep my statutes and perform them. I am the Lord who sanctifies you. Verse 9, for everyone who curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. He has cursed his father or his mother, his blood shall be upon him. The man who commits adultery with another man's wife, he who commits adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress, shall surely be put to death. The man who, Ariana Grande, and anybody else, I mean, I get it. Things have happened in life. Nobody's saying it's claims. I'm just saying. If you know about it, don't do it. Not worth it. Just not worth it. Verse 11. The man who lies with his father's wife has uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. If a man lies with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have committed perversion. Their blood shall be upon them. If a man lies with a male as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Verse 14, if a man marries a woman and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burned with fire, both he and they, that there may be no wickedness among you. If a man mates with an animal, he shall surely be put to death, and you shall kill the animal. If a woman approaches an animal and mates with it, you shall kill the woman and the animal. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood is upon them. Verse 17, if a man takes his sister, his father's daughter or his mother's daughter, and sees her nakedness, and she sees his nakedness, it is a wicked thing. And they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He has uncovered his sister's nakedness, he shall bear his guilt. Verse 18, if a man lies with a woman during her sickness and uncovers her nakedness, he exposed her flow, and she has uncovered the flow of her blood. Both of them shall be cut off from their people. Verse 19, you shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, nor your father's sister, for that would uncover his near of kin. They shall bear their guilt. Verse 20, if a man lies with his uncle's wife, he has uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They shall bear with their sin. They shall die childless. If a man takes his brother's wife, it is an unclean thing. He has uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless. You shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments and perform them, and the land where I am bringing you to dwell may not vomit you out. Verse 23, and you shall not walk on the statutes of the nation which I am casting out before you, for they commit all these things, and therefore I abhor them. But I have said to you, you shall inherit their land, and I will give it to you to possess, a land flowing with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, who has separated you from the peoples. Verse 25, you shall therefore distinguish between clean animals and unclean, between unclean birds and clean, and you shall not make yourselves abominable by beast or by bird, or by any kind of living thing that creeps on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. And you shall be holy to me, for I am the Lord, am holy, and have separated you from the peoples, that you should be mine. In verse 27, a man or a woman who is a medium or who has familiar spirits shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones. Their blood shall be upon them. That, ladies, is all for today's Bible devotion. Bible study. My daughter wanted to say hello. A lot of stuff today. A lot of things that are going on in the world that partake to these chapters of Leviticus today. I can see that. No one is of clean hands. I get that. Things happen. However, if you know about it and you willingly do it, don't complain when stuff happens afterwards. I'm just saying. I know a lot of people, some things about believing God and like really doing it. And trust me, I get it. I was the person that believed God and still did whatever the heck I wanted to do. And asked for forgiveness later. It doesn't work like that. Once you know you're intentionally doing things you're not supposed to be doing, or it's wrong, or that's not part of that book. Yeah, it gets rough out there. So, and he will humble you. He will humble you. So let's have an awesome day. Let's have an awesome Friday to start the weekend. Everyone out there with all the crazy storms and all the stuff that's going on, be safe wherever this finds you. And yeah, we'll talk Monday. Be blessed.